Hello, and welcome to First Geek 411. I'm Emma, and we're having a movie night, which is why I'm here in the helm of the ship. There's the word I was looking for. I am in control, apparently, because I am the movie person, and we're gonna have a lot of fun tonight. There's gonna be some strong opinions, some not strong opinions, some agreements, some disagreements. Um, Welcome. So tonight we are doing Pixar stuff. With me, I have all the way in Canada, Shanice. How you doing?
Hi, doing pretty good. Excited to talk Disney.
Woo. And then all the way over in Texas, we've got Cameron.
Hello, hello. It's 65 degrees here, and it's fantastic.
Shut
You
your
can
mouth.
shut your face.
And up in Montana, we've got Chris. How you
Winter
doing?
storm warnings. They're projecting 2 inches an hour tomorrow. It's gonna be great.
We had 100-degree weather this weekend, you guys, over here in California. So, that's been that. Um, So that's everyone. And like I said, we're doing our Pixar stuff tonight. We are doing a tier of all 25 Pixar movies that have come out since 1995. So in the past, how old am I? 26 years? Yeah. And before we get to that, you can find us at all of the locations on the interwebs. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at First Geek 411. You can also hop into our Discord server. It's really cool there, lots of awesome people to chat. And we even have a Wordle page that just showed up recently for all the Wordle games. Lots of cool stuff. You can send us all your thoughts and questions at our email at firstgeek411 at gmail.com. That's 1st geek411 at gmail.com. And you can also check out our show notes on our website that we have. That's onegeek411.com. And you can watch us live on Twitch here every Monday night. We like to hang out and see all of your comments in the comment section as we go along. And that is at 6:45 Mountain Time. And then you can find those videos on YouTube later in the week. You can rate and subscribe wherever you hang out with us and wherever you listen to podcasts. And you can jump over to our Redbubble store and get some sweet, sweet merch because it's cool over there. Okie dokie. Now getting into our week before we do all the fun Pixar stuff because we like to hear about each other's weeks. Let's jump into Chris first because I feel like you don't ever go first.
Because I don't like to go first.
Too bad you're going first. You've been called upon.
Because then I have to think about what I did this week. So I started some spring animes, obviously, because it doesn't feel like spring, but according to anime, it is. So that's a plus. We'll get into those in a few weeks because there's not much to say yet. Just first episodes of stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've done. Oh, I started watching Our Flag Means Death on HBO Max, and it's amazing because I don't know. Have you guys seen the ads for this? Are you guys aware of the show?
I've never heard of this.
I've heard of it. It makes me sad that I cannot watch it.
Because HBO, gotcha.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but it's
Yep.
so good. So it's about a pirate crew, and it's just ridiculous. So it has Reese Darby and Taika, as well as a ton of others. So Taika is playing Blackbeard, and Reese Darby is Steed Bonnet, and it's just ridiculous. He like reads his crew like bedtime stories and has like this very progressive approach to being a pirate ship captain, and it's hilarious. It's I have to recommend this because first of all, Taika, but yeah. So started that. It's great, and yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Watch this now. Sounds
Put it on your list.
completely up my alley.
It's so good. I wish I would have got it started sooner, but like I've been meaning to since I first saw the ads for it, but it's so good. Sorry, Janine.
Yeah. Hopefully the DVD comes out soon. Get it from the library.
Fingers
That's how I
crossed.
watch everything on HBO Max.
Via the library. Speaking of which, Janine, how's your week been?
Pretty good. Got to play some D&D this weekend with our crew. We made it out of the place that we were trapped in, which was good. I was, as the paladin, like the beefiest one there, I was down to 5 hit points. I was like, guys,
Oh.
we got to do some sneaky sneaks.
Guys, send help.
Yeah,
We gotta do help. Send help. Get
it was
help.
bad. We made it, and yeah, now we're in a spooky forest, and it's been fun.
Did you walk in and out of the forest a bunch of times?
It's the best way to do it.
Did you go in?
We
the
Yeah.
forest?
didn't. We just went
Yeah.
straight
In the
in.
woods. Then out.
Got attacked by some fae. It's fine.
That
Are
wouldn't
you in
happen
the
if you walked out.
Feywilds? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
Well,
it
the
would
Fays aren't doing their
have.
job if you got in on the first try. What is this?
There you go.
This isn't a Fey forest. Don't just walk.
I didn't
doing
say
their
it was a
jobs
fae
correctly.
forest, but
Oh,
there
there's
was
just
a fae
Fae.
there.
Okay, gotcha.
There were several around.
Yeah. And started watching Hunter x Hunter.
How's
I
that going?
love it so far. I am into all of the evilish characters. I can't remember anyone's name right now. Except for Gon.
Okay, so I was just making sure because is like there's the X there, and I was like, is there? I just wanted to make sure that my brain was going to the right place. Good luck.
Thank you.
Vote of confidence, Chris.
It's in my husband's top 5. We have very similar anime tastes. I'm very excited.
Like,
We're like-
all of it is in his top 5.
Yes.
It's one. It's a weird one. Okay, like it's good to a point.
So far, I'm liking it. The pacing is great,
Mm-hmm.
which is like a big complaint with anime for me a lot. The pacing is great. It's got like some classic, just like super weird anime stuff, but then they're like, but also this works on a deeper level, and you're like, whoa, this is
Yeah.
great.
There's some really great stuff. It's just, yeah. We'll talk when you finish.
So far, so
That,
good. We're like
To me,
10-ish
says it
episodes
gets
in.
worse.
Yeah.
It takes
there's,
it
like,
takes it a
so
long while
many.
before it's like, what just happened? But
All right, Cameron, what's up with you?
So for me, this week, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga came out, and so Deanna has been streaming that over on our channel, and so I got to hop in and play The Empire Strikes Back, which is my favorite Star Wars movie. So I was very hyped about that.
I'm gonna say I watched a little bit of you guys playing, and then I went and bought it for myself. 'cause
Oh,
it
so
looked
proud of
fun.
you. It's so
Like-
much fun.
I normally watch a little bit of games before deciding whether to get it or not, and I got it because it looked fun.
I definitely recommend. There's a lot of great in jokes, and there's just like a lot of just general silliness, and yeah. So I've been really enjoying it. Hopefully we'll get to play some more soon. I also was catching up on some Pixar movies because there was some that I hadn't seen all of that I knew I would want to for this. Plot twist, there were some I did not watch because I don't anticipate them doing well on our tier list. And I decided it probably was not worth my time. And so, but then this weekend we went to SCG Con Dallas with my friend Steve. played some Commander, did some shopping, and I got my first ever, I don't know if I'll come through, there it is, signed Magic card by the artist who
Nice.
was there. And so I'm very hyped about that. And so, yeah, it was a great time. It was really cool to be around a bunch of Magic players. We like mostly played just us, just since we weren't there for that long. And then, especially after we did like a lot of shopping. And so, but yeah, it was really cool. Shout out to the people that went and played like in the actual competitive events. We just got to go and hang out. And so, but yeah, that is what I've been up to.
Nice. My I just got a new place that I'm moving into next month, and the woman I'm moving in with plays Magic the Gathering, so she's gonna try and teach me how to play. So
One of us.
you know, she and her friends have a lot of loaner cards that they're gonna lend me to learn how to play.
You
So-
just
The best way
need
to do it.
one deck.
Yep.
That's all
yeah,
it takes.
exactly. So there you go. As for me and my week, my actual week was pretty chillaxed, but my mom came and visited this weekend because she was in the area with some family, and we went to the Hollywood Walk of Fame where all the stars are on the ground, and that was super cool and fun. And we didn't see all of them because it's like a good 5 block radius of just the entire street covered with stars. But it was really cool to see all of these old names and like people. We also hung out at the beach, and that was a lot of fun. And then we went to the Getty Art Museum, and they had a cool exhibit on the art of human anatomy. That was super interesting. Because science is cool and nerdy. That's been my week. I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley in my free time, and I'm almost done with Forbidden West, so that's exciting too. But yeah, that's been our week for all of us. Now to get into the new thing that we've never done before, that we're starting out with Pixar for. So we all hung out last week, and we're gonna do some cool new stuff with our episodes. And this week we're trying out a tier list thing that we're gonna do. So basically, the ground rules are we're gonna go through all 25 Pixar movies that have come out in the past 26 years, and we're going to rank them in a tier list from S to not enough of us have seen it, basically. So to make a judgment. So before we get into those definitions of the levels, there's one rule with a couple of sub rules. Each host gets one veto judgment. So if they disagree with the judgment made on a movie going into a time slot or into a grading slot that everyone else has agreed upon, they get to veto and move that movie either up or down one tier. But they only get to use that power once. So it's something that has to be used wisely and for something they feel strongly about, one way or the other.
Or just want chaos, whichever.
Or just one chaos, either something you feel strongly about or you just feel like causing chaos about, if you're Chris, primarily, because Chris
And
likes
this is
to
why
cause
there's
chaos.
only one veto.
And this is why there's only one veto.
I proposed
per
a
person.
single veto rule.
Because if we had infinite or even more than one, nothing would happen and we would get nowhere. Let's just put it that way. The other part of that is it can only go up or down one tier. You can't jump it up or down more than one tier. So that's that. You can't take a movie that the rest of us say this just sucks and put it way at the top. Because that's the rules of the game. And then basically what we're going to do, we're going to go through the list and put them in their spots. We've got the S tier all the way at the very top, which is like the superb best of the best. Amazing film that everyone in the world should see at some point in their lives. We've got A, which is a great film, something that we think that most people should see, or like we would recommend to people, but it's not like, if you haven't seen this, why haven't you seen this? We've got B, the B tier. It's a good movie, has some ups, has some downs, has some rough patches, has some great patches, but overall pretty good. We've got the C tier, which is meh. It's a good movie. It's not terrible, but it's also not fantastic. We've got the D tier. Why does this movie even exist? Pretty self-explanatory. Like, why does this thing around? Why did you give it to us? There's plenty of movies out there that we go and see, and we're just like, why did you spend the money to make this terrible? And then we've got the unwatched tier, where basically either only one of us has seen it or none of us have seen it. So we can't really make a judgment on that movie when only one of us has seen it or none of us have seen it. So like, we're not gonna judge it if
We'll
we don't
judge it
have
by its
anything
art.
to
No.
yeah, we're gonna judge a movie by its poster.
I'm telling you,
know?
that's how I buy board games.
You know, but not in this case. So that's that. And in the, where is my, I need my thing. I have my list of all 25 movies. We are going to go in order of release. So basically chronologically, from 95 on. We briefly discussed going by franchise within Pixar, but we're just going to do timeline instead because that's how we sort of mentally associate them. At least that's how I associate them, is when they came out. So, starting off, the movie that started it all, we've got Cowboys and Space Invaders in Toy Story. It came out in 1995. What are the general thoughts? And great, terrible, awful, fantastic, okay, or something else?
I'll kick us off. We haven't really decided how we're going to be putting everything's in the tiers. So here we go. I'll speak up first. I think Toy Story is S tier. It's definitely, I'm not a huge fan of the, like, it's amazing because it was the first one. But it's amazing and it was the first one. And like, I think that it does so much to set the tone for what Pixar is going to be, on top of just being a great film. Like, it's very iconic. I do feel like this definitely hits the nostalgia for most of us. But I think that, unlike another franchise on this list, there's a reason Toy Story has a lot of sequels. And it's because the first movie is so good.
So what you're saying is they knew they had to make an impression.
Yes.
And that's what they did.
Exactly.
They made an impression.
I would agree on S tier. Like, I think
Yeah.
to understand Pixar, you have to watch Toy Story. And I mean Toy Story 1, not like, yeah, the other ones are great, but I think, yeah, definitely.
It's one of the, if not the first movie that comes to mind when someone mentions Pixar, is the Toy Story movie. Because it's well written. The animation still holds up to this day.
And they had
after
some great
26
voice
years.
actors.
It had some great
Tom
voice
Hanks,
actors.
Tim Allen.
Yeah.
They had an
And
amazing
I'm just
career.
saying, a great world in Kingdom Hearts 3. So,
But
I mean,
we
I
can't
wouldn't know
rate
in
the
that
movie
regard, so I'll take your word for it. But
based on spin-offs.
Yeah, I agree. S tier. It's like it's a classic for a reason. It's funny, it's heartwarming, it's super quotable.
There's a snake in my boot. Also had a great villain for a little bit. Like, I mean, not like full-on villain, but like it was just good. Like, it scared me as a kid. There's like there's portions like made me go through all the emotions. And that's what makes it so great.
Made me feel things.
Made me feel
but
things.
in a good way. There are some movies out there that failed to do scary right in children's movies, basically. Yeah. I think that's a pretty easy one that we're all generally going to agree on. It's not going to be a controversial one. So S tier for Toy Story 1. Next up, maybe some debate. A Bug's Life from 1998. I think about this one on occasion, and it just sort of gets left in the dust.
So if you had to put a letter on getting left in the dust, where would you put it?
I would put this one, for me personally, at a C. Like, it was a movie. It wasn't terrible, but it could have been better for the
Shanine's
concept.
eyes.
Here
Yes,
we go.
rebuttal, rebuttal.
We're gonna
Made it to
cause
number
some
2, everyone.
issues. It wasn't completely awful, but it could have been a whole lot better.
Okay, Shanine, tell us how you feel.
Yeah, spill the beans.
I'm trying to recover from you saying C. I can't believe that was the ranking that just came out of your mouth. Okay.
Yes.
I feel like it's incredibly underrated. Like,
Oh, it's underrated. Absolutely.
so
I
why
just
are
don't
you
think
saying
it-
C?
Because the story could have been better improved and written. I don't think it deserves, like, coming off of Toy Story, they went in with a bang and then they just sort of, like, it's not terrible. Don't get me wrong. It's not like no one should ever see this ever again. Like, I recommend it to people, but it's like, I don't like it. I only recommend it to certain people if I know for certain they would like it, because it's like, you gotta look past some of the story plot holes.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
where do you think this belongs, Shanine?
I'm putting this at an A. I agree. I don't think it's as good as Toy Story, but I don't think they plummeted from S to C. I was obsessed with this movie for a while. I like Dot was the cutest thing in the entire universe. I had a crush on an animated ant for a while. Like, it's just super cool.
A tier
They
for
could have
crushes.
done more.
Okay,
Hey,
With the caterpillar. And
automatic
not
A
connect-
tier. You had a crush
Yeah.
on a character, automatic
Yeah.
A tier.
however you connect with the movie is however you connect with the movie.
See, this is why I wanted to find my own tiers, my tiering system. Like, I had a crush on a character, automatic A.
I don't know, and it's great. I feel like it's a pretty unique movie concept. I just, all the bugs, their little Trojan leaf bird.
Right now, I'm going to set this just well because I want to unclick. I'm going to put it in B since to split the difference currently. And then we'll get mine and Cameron's takes as well. But
Beautiful little butterfly. It is one of
Yes.
the better moments. Cameron,
I'll say for me, this is a high B. Like if we were breaking these out like in much more depth, like this is probably like a B plus, A minus kind of thing for me. Where I really like it. I think that there's a lot in this film that like I need to go back and rewatch. Because there are a lot of amazing quotes. There's a lot of fun stuff there. A lot of great references get made to ants later on, as Pixar is prone to do. But yeah, to me, this is a B. And I think some of it is you got to make room for some of the stuff that's coming up later. like and so for me that's kind of why it lands in that B tier.
Okay. For me, I'm gonna agree with Shanine, and this is an A. Um, just because I adore the different species of insects and all the different personalities they gave them, and that's what I just have very fond memories watching this. Um, I think they did a good job balancing the humor, um, and also kind of the more like bringing in, like, I think this is such a well-rounded movie. Surprise, like it has enough there for the kids, but I think Pixar did also a great job at making sure that it would be enjoyable for adults too. um and that, I would say, is an A.
One of those movies that I don't have super strong opinions one way over the other in terms of like I feel like this should be super like down low or whatever, unlike some of these other choices. So yes, I agree overall. Just I feel like they could have done a little more coming off of Toy Story, knowing where they were capable of.
Okay, does two A's balance out a C and a B to an A?
Yeah, I think that puts
Yeah.
it as an A.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
By
how's this weighting
laws of
work?
averages.
Yeah.
Laws of, like, how's
Yeah.
like because you said a high B, so
General
I'm like,
average.
Yeah.
no vetoes?
Yeah.
No vetoes?
No vetoes.
All right. Bug's Life is A tier.
Okay, number 3, Toy Story 2. Coming off the bugs, we're back into the world of toys. Bloop, bloop, bloop. With Toy Story 2 in 1999. And we are back with Woody and Buzz going into meeting Jessie, whose name I completely forgot. Any opinions outright that want to be stated one way or the other? Strong opinions? Or am I gonna have to call on someone like a teacher?
Call on someone.
Call on someone.
Call on
Yeah.
someone. Okay.
You're in charge of
I'm
this
gonna-
ship, remember?
I do remember. I just am very much a teacher. Chris.
I would say B for me. I think it does a decent job at continuing it, but I also feel like some of the previous character development in this at the start gets left in the dust, and you're kind of starting over, which irritates me with a sequel. So I'm sitting at B.
I think for me, with Toy Story 2, it's a very well done sequel to a well loved first movie. Like, there's a lot of movies out there where sequels just don't do the first movie's justice. And it introduces more characters adequately. For me, it's not quite the same tier as Toy Story, just because you can't really beat that with the sequel, I feel. But it sits very well at a strong A for me. Like, they did such a good job. We're hovering between A and B.
We're at a B plus.
B plus.
We don't have that tier specifically, but
That's getting too into the weeds.
I agree with Emma. Like, it's not Toy Story level, but it's still a really good sequel. I like the new characters. It's got the feels.
okay, we're sitting at an A.
It's good.
Oh, Shanine, did you say A?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I didn't say it,
Oh, that's
I was
right. Chris had
thinking
done
A,
B.
so-
Chris had done B.
I said
I was
B, yeah.
confused.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this is going to end up in that tier by the previously established law of averages. Because my Pixar hot take is this is a C. I've mentioned that before. This is my least favorite Toy Story movie. I feel like it's the one where like I'm Mugatu from Zoolander, and I'm like, is everyone else taking crazy pills? Like, this is a movie that I just did not connect with at all. I did not enjoy. I do like the new characters. I like Jesse, but most of the other new characters I think are very meh. Um, and yeah, so
Interesting.
yeah.
I'm almost relieved. It's like I don't want to put this in A.
Well, I mean, it's by the rules. If we've had two
You
A's, a
can
B, and a
average
C,
it out to, yeah,
it averages out the same way as A Bug's Life.
yeah.
Tour guide Barbie. Sorg. Come on.
Did you just say something
Wait, does
about
it end? Wait,
Barbie?
you said C, 2 A's and a B. Wait, what?
That's the same breakdown that we had for A Bug's
Oh
Life.
yeah.
Yeah,
Do I use my veto here?
it's up to you.
What does your heart tell you? We're only 3 in.
Yeah,
So
I know,
Got
but
it.
this is very early on
I'm
to
just
use
like,
your veto.
ah.
you can always. Okay, here's
But
a
then again,
question
Cameron
in
feels
terms of-
more strongly about that one than me. So if anyone should use it, but
Here's
but
another
we'll move
question
on.
about veto. Then, do we want to do the veto where we can go back later on and
Has to
change
be as we
something?
go. Has to be
Has
as
to
we
be
go.
as you go.
So when something is set in, it's set in for good.
we're locking it in.
Okay. Okay. So once a movie is locked in, it's locked in for good and you can't change your mind later.
Right.
So, Chris, this is your moment.
No, I just don't feel
You
strong
wanna-
enough about Toy Story 2 that this matters. So I'm not going to use my veto here.
There you go. There you go. I have something that I feel strongly about later on. So I am
The question-
saving mine for
The
that
question is,
moment.
are we going to agree? That's like the thing. Also, you're trying to balance out. It's like, is this
Or
a hot
that.
take or
You
are
play
we
the
all
players,
going to
not the
agree
game.
this is where it's at? And
Mine's
then
a hot take. I know mine's a hot take.
okay, what do we got next? So Toy Story 2 ends up in A by law of averages.
The next one up in 2001.
And we should say,
Oh.
sorry, just jump in. We are not organizing within the tier lists. So within
Right.
the tier list, it is just for chat. Because I know that
They
we had
just sort of
discussed
get
that off
grouped
air.
into their
but
own.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
they'll stay in release order within the tiers.
Coming up next in 2001, another movie that I
finally
feel is pretty iconic.
Turn of the century, guys.
Turn of
We've
the
turned the
century.
century.
We've got our big old blue fuzzy teddy bear and our little green ball of joy in Monsters Inc. with the delightful monsters under your bed and in your closet. So, Cameron, you go first.
To me, Monsters Inc. is kind of like with what I was saying about Bugs Life, but in a different ranking. This is a very high A for me. I think that this is one that on specific days, this is an S for me. And on specific days, this is a low A. This is probably one of my most watched Pixar films. But yeah, to me, this is a high A. Love Sully, love Mike. Yeah, high A.
Mike Wazowski, always watching.
Always watching.
I love Monsters Inc. I feel like it's somewhat underappreciated. I also feel like it's a high A, occasionally an S tier, depending on my mood. But it's a very strong movie. Very like it takes yet another general urban myth, if you will, and like makes it lighthearted and like turns it into something that shouldn't be as feared, but in a new and fresh way, and very delightful. And the things I've done with it are great. So very strong A for me.
This is an easy S tier for me.
Hmm.
I think also one of my most watched, if not the most watched, Disney Pixar. Again, super quotable, lots of feels. Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. It's so good. And
So
like,
good.
I don't know, the surprise villain, and it's so good. It's so good. Surprise villain and surprise Roz working for the monster CIA,
Mm-hmm.
all the secret identities. It's great.
You
All
know
right.
what? I'm bumping my vote up to an S. Put
That
that
your
thing back where
veto?
it came from, or so help me.
Put that thing in S tier.
Yeah.
So help me.
Hot take then. I'm putting this at a C. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Like that's.
It's-
I will turn the stream around.
Cameron, is that your veto or just
No,
your
because we have not locked
changing
in.
we have,
yet.
we haven't locked in.
Okay.
For me, this is an S tier as well. I think
Yeah.
Monsters Inc. is a must
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
Heart attack.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I can't.
If you haven't seen
It looks like
Monsters,
I
Inc., then
like I agree too much with Janine sometimes. I feel like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
darn it. But Monsters Inc. for me is definitely a must watch. They brought to life and turned it on its head, like a world. They made a world of monsters. Brought to life all these creatures and ideas, and the variety in the art is absolutely amazing. And then they, not only that, they took that world and then turned it on its head throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
But we got to see Yetis. We got to see so many good things in Monsters Inc. And it's just definitely an S tier must watch. Very quotable, great, as Shanine was saying, great kind of just underlying jokes. And I don't know, like even like the most boring side characters are so entertaining in this.
They're so unique to themselves.
And Boo is just a like, she says like three things, and yeah, definitely an S tier.
I've seen a couple of theories floating around where Boo as an adult is a character in another Pixar movie. I don't
Boo
remember
as an
which
adult
one.
is one of the best friends in Big Red in the newest Pixar movie, the Red Panda,
There's also a
Turning
theory about
red.
her being the witch in Brave.
that too.
There you go. Yeah.
But Brave is past. Doesn't make sense. Oh, I
Just
guess
like
well,
the time traveling doors.
Or like
Space
I
time.
think it was
were they time traveling doors?
It's kind of unclear.
It's like
I think I've seen that she's the mom in Inside Out. But everyone has their own theories, so you know. So pretty general same consensus on this. Inside or not Inside Out. Monsters Inc. We all love it. It's pretty strong pro Monsters Inc. on this one. Doesn't surprise me. Don't know if it surprises anyone else, but highly recommend it. Next up, my personal favorite that I'm very biased towards, Finding Nemo from 2003. I love this movie. Ride or Die, Finding Nemo. I know it's not the same for everyone, but I memorized the entire script by the time I was 10 years old. This for me is S tier because I love it so much, and it's just great writing. Another great concept that is just so different from everything else, because it's just like you get fish in the ocean, someone's dad just annoys their kid, and their kid gets taken by the peoples. And what are you gonna do when you're terrified and your child gets taken? You go find him. Who wants to contradict? Because I have a feeling it's not an S tier for everyone else.
I'll say for me, it's high A.
Yeah.
I have this kind of like in my own like power rankings just behind some of the. Now that I've moved Monsters Inc., I think this is my top A. And so I really like this movie for all the reasons that you said. Fish are friends, not food, is one of my favorite things to say as I'm eating sushi. Yeah, great film.
In fact, if you want a fun movie fact, they invented / created an entirely new animation program for this movie, just to get the wave water movement effects down for the different ocean plants that has since been used for things like Hair and Brave and Rapunzel. Okay, there's my fun movie fact of the day.
No, I feel like I'm torn between S and A as well for this one. I have so many good memories of this one. We watched it with my class in school. That's when we were still within like walking distance of our local movie theater, our single screen movie theater. We went and saw it. So I feel like this is one of the first movies that I have distinct memories of going to see. And it's great and it's quotable. It's so funny. I think we just ran around. We ran around saying, "Oh, you guys made me ink."
So
For
totally
the next
rock,
like
dude.
3 weeks.
Again, I memorized the entire movie when I was a kid. Big fan of this movie. Chris, thoughts?
My hot take, this is a B tier for me. Oh, well, first of all, Shanine, what are you actually declaring yours as?
Oh, fair enough.
S. I have to go S.
Okay. So for me, it's a B tier because, yeah, it's fine. But it doesn't. It's not a standout to me. For me specifically, yeah, I can pick up on all the references, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to people. So I don't think it's a must watch. Looking at A, do I think most people should see it? Maybe. I don't know. No. I don't think it's something like in the Pixar lineup. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, sure, let's watch that. Like if someone proposed it and I had another option, I'm probably not gonna watch Finding Nemo. But yeah, it's enjoyable. It's a good film, but it's just not a standout to me.
I think I've quoted it in my normal life like 3 times in the past week. So
But I guess
Morning,
Law of Averages that puts it
everybody.
at a S tier.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most people would agree. I think this
getting
one
out of-
is at B is my hot
the
take.
exact line, Emma.
Thank you,
So-
clean.
The tank is clean.
I see where you're coming from, Chris, but this is hands down my all-time.
Makes
comfort
sense for you. You
animation
are
movie. I am the marine biologist.
you're the marine
fanatic.
biology person. Like, yeah. Like
This is
I'm okay with it
absolutely
ending up
my
at S
comfort
tier.
movie.
It's just, yeah, for me, it's not something I'm gonna be like, oh, you need to see this. Like if you know, like with my nephew, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, let's sit down and watch Finding Nemo. No, it's gonna be, let's watch Toy Story. Let's watch Monsters Inc. as he's growing up. Like Finding Nemo is not even gonna breach that list for me.
Fair enough. Very strong S tier for me though. But yes, one of their better strong ones, both just from personal opinion and storyline and how well it's written.
I think the characters just end up being washed out by this. It feels rushed to me at times. Like I mean, obviously there's a sense of urgency,
Fair.
which loses a lot of personality for me.
Fair. I can see how that comes about. Moving on to the next one. I think this is going to be another pretty simply agreed upon. 2004, The Incredibles. Pretty well known. You've got some family members with superpowers. Actually, it's one family with superpowers. And things happen and stuff goes down and you go fighting people.
Okay, I'll go first. This is S. I was shocked that y'all were surprised that it was at the top of the other list. Yeah, this is honestly probably my number one. And so yeah, so my vote is S. I think that this is an amazing superhero film. It's an amazing characters, amazing cast. I like the development that we see throughout it. I like the I'm a sucker for the premise of what would superheroes actually be like in a real world setting. And you 100% know you would have to have superheroes go into hiding and stuff like that, and they would deal with these conflicts that Mr. Incredible deals with of wanting to do more, wanting to help more. Yeah, Incredibles is my number one, and so
I think that's the main reason is that it ended up at number one. Like I agree, it is S tier all the way. It's just like where certain other things were placed in relationship to it on that list is what confused me in terms of IGN's list and any other list we looked at prior to doing ours. I agree, but it also completely kind of broke like Pixar, like in general, like it was outside of what I expected from them. And I think they did a great job with the family dynamics and kind of the politics around superheroes in it. I like that we pretty much enter a world where superheroes have been pushed out because, like, trying to have a society where powered beings exist. There's how do you handle that? And I think they did a great job in just having the superheroes like, okay, fine, it's not a job anymore. we're good. And I think they did a great job, like even just like explaining the current state, like briefly without dragging it on, with that. And I enjoy all the family members. But even the side characters are really like, it's always going to come down to the side characters for me too, because, and yeah, so I agree, S tier for The Incredibles.
Oddly enough, I will probably be the minority in this one. But I, for whatever reason, just don't feel like it's an S tier movie, at least to me personally. I agree in that it's very well done, very well written, characters, side characters, great. But it's never spoken to me, oddly enough, as someone who's a big superheroes, Marvel comic, whatever person. It's just like, it's fine, I guess, but I, for whatever reason, don't love it.
Is that
So
because
it's
you're
always been
trying to
like,
compare it to Marvel?
no, like even since before Marvel, like before I got into Marvel, I like was just like, it's so what? Like I've never really understood
It's a
the
better
hype
Fantastic Four.
around
Come
it.
on.
I mean that
Well,
doesn't say
yes.
much though.
That's true. That's true.
You
That's
know,
not the
like
standard. It's a.
I don't think it's terrible. Like I
It's
think
what
it's
the
like
Fantastic
definitely
Four
an
should have been. Let's say that.
A tier movie. It's well done, well, like everything about it is great. It's just it doesn't speak to me enough for me personally to put it into the S tier. Like I think that's something that goes into it is like I've just never fully understood the hype around it. So maybe that's just a me thing, but
My biggest disappointment coming out of The Incredibles is that we never got an Edna spinoff. Like, she deserves her own series or movie. That's all I'm saying.
definitely have to agree with that one. Shane, do you have anything additional to add to the conversation?
Oh, hard S for me as well. Like I love everyone in the family. I love that we get to see a lot of strong female characters in this movie. And I don't know, there's not like special attention drawn to that. They just exist and are awesome and it's great. There's a lot of great like empowering speeches that I give to myself frequently
From this movie.
You are Elastigirl, pull yourself together
Mhm.
and leave the saving the world to the men. I don't think so. I don't know, it's great. I love it. Yeah, it's just good.
Great.
So
S
three
tier
S's, S
for
tier, it
Let's
ends
say-
up.
I'll say
Incredibles.
this is my veto. of like, no matter what, this is S tier.
Yeah.
Like I will fight to keep this in S. So I'm glad I do not
Okay.
have to, but that is my
No. Next up, 2006, Cars. Rapid round. 10 seconds. Starting at the top left, Chris.
Is that where I am? I don't know where I am on the screen. It's like art,
According
like
to Twitch.
okay, according to Twitch. Okay. Um, Cars, I'd say C.
Janine.
It's at least an A for me. I don't know. I feel like it gets a lot of hate and I don't understand why.
B for me. Cameron.
So Cars was one of the ones I hadn't seen all the way through until literally today. So C is where I'm at.
Law of averages brings it to a B.
I think so, yeah, that sounds about right. I said B, you said B, Chris.
I said B. Shanine said A, and Cameron said C. So
Yeah. Okay. Rapid round number 2.
No, I
We're
said
gonna
C.
go through it. You said C. Someone said C. Ratatouille, 2007. Going from lower right, Cameron.
A, solid A. Great film. Love Remy. Great premise. Way out of the box.
Me, A as well. Hard agree. Shanine.
A. Anyone
Cameron.
can cook.
Or not Cameron. Chris.
yeah, I'll agree with A. I'm just trying to find it on my list here.
The one
Fifth.
with the rat and the
Yeah.
chef.
Top row, 5th from the left.
Ah,
There it is. Cool. Now to slow it down again. Well,
pretty much we sped up
2008.
for the movies that she doesn't care about, I guess.
No, I just figured we'd speed it up a
Yes.
little bit to add some variety.
I
As the
mean, I
perpetual
feel like we
timekeeper.
should have given Shanine a
Yes.
chance to further defend her A ranking for Cars.
Would you like to further defend your A ranking, Shanine?
I don't think I have any good reasons for it. I just really enjoyed it. We watched it a lot. My brother was really into like cars in general, so we watched Cars a lot. I don't know, it's good.
I think
And all
that
the kids at the daycare are really into Cars right now, so I get to reference it a lot.
I think with Cars, like the thing I most enjoy about it isn't the movie itself, but trying to figure out the universe of Cars and like the theories that
There's-
come up as
There's
a
a lot
result.
of questions.
There's
I gotta
so
say.
many
So
questions
many
that end up
questions.
with that movie, and I think that's my favorite thing about Cars. But it's not like, like
Yeah.
I don't have to watch it. I just like thinking about it.
Fine.
Yeah. And I'll say for me, I think Cars is the film that would have replaced Toy Story if I was younger. Like it's the type of one that like if I was younger when Cars came out, I could definitely see it being the one that I really connected with.
Yeah, I can see that. Like I feel like that was its kind of purpose
Mhm.
was
Or attempt
To-
to redo.
to get like
Mhm.
instead of continuing on and trying to bring more people into Toy Story, trying to give next generation kind of their own thing from their own IP here to kind of follow.
And I really got into Life is a Highway.
Hated
that knocks
song
it down a rank
so
for me.
much. Like immediately, I almost want to call it a D now, like just because that song now is in my head. Oh.
Called out.
Too late. It is locked in.
Okay, Emma, what's next?
Speaking of which, actually not speaking of which at all, what's next is space. We are now in space with Wally in 2008. Your friendly neighborhood trash robot.
S tier.
I think it's an A, personally. An A, strong A to S tier. Underappreciated.
AI love. I mean, AI is falling in love. Gets me. Also very timely and like I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's an important movie. That's why I think this is a must watch.
It's ahead of its
S
time for
tier.
2008.
Yeah, a little. I mean, it's not
A
necessarily
little bit. Right
like
at the
we were
intro
talking
of
about. It's ahead of its time in terms of who they're trying to get talk about it, because it is, it's Pixar.
Yeah.
It's geared toward the younger generation, but that's why it was so important. And I think everyone should watch it, because also I'm not like against mankind developing the technology where we can just be lazy in space. I'm very pro that. Like that might be my almost ideal lifestyle. Not gonna lie. If you have full dive VR, on top of that, hook up my food tube, as I've mentioned. But in terms of like the idea of trashing the earth, and like this is like we have to do that, that's what I like about it. I
I
don't
will
think the
just
tech is the downside, though.
say, in reference to some conversation in the group chat, room chat right now, stream chat, whatever it is, we will later down the road have veto options for viewers, but we are still working things out. So, yeah. But
Yeah, later.
I think it's a very strong movie overall.
So we have an S and an A. So I'll set it at A for now.
Cameron, thoughts?
It's an S for me.
Yes.
Again, for a lot of the reasons Chris mentioned, who would guess that we would agree? I
Shocker.
think it has an awesome message, and I love the way that it tells that message. I think is the biggest part. Like a lot of Pixar movies have very good themes, very good messages, but I think that this one conveys it in an amazing way.
The thing I love about it is that in the grand scheme of the whole like movie, there's very little dialogue.
Mhm.
Like they tell a whole story with much less dialogue than your average movie, whether it's animated or whatever else. A lot of movies are dialogue driven. Wally isn't. It's just it's action driven. You do have like the sound bits that the characters use, but for the most part, it's how they use those two or three options and what they do. And that is cool. Janine, what's your vote?
I'm having a hard time deciding between S and A with this one as well. I mean, I agree with everyone. Like the fact that it told such an amazing story with so little dialogue and was still like interesting for kids and things, like it was great. It was a good message without being too heavy-handed and preachy, which I feel like some environmental movies tend to lean away from the story more and more into the message, whereas this had a good balance of both. And it's just so heckin' cute. Look at his face.
So, sounds like S tier for Wally. Moving on to Up in 2009 with an elderly man and a young Boy Scout who end up in an exotic land via house attached to balloons and a talking dog. Very enjoyable movie. I think it's an S tier in my humble opinion. Iconic, pretty iconic. Another unique idea. Strong writing. Janine, you go first.
This might be a bit of a hot take one for me. I think I'm gonna put it at a B tier. Like it's good. I feel like it's iconic for the first 5 minutes. And then the rest of the movie, I'm trying to like think and look back to when I watched it. And I'm like, what happened? I don't 100% remember what happened, but also the stuff that I do remember, I'm like, what was that? That was weird.
Talking dogs
I
and
love Doug.
exotic birds.
I
Doug.
love Doug. And yeah, the first 5 minutes are heart-wrenching, but the rest of the movie, I don't know.
So where are you gonna put it? B tier?
B, it's a B for me. Yeah.
All right. We've
Sorry,
got an
I
S
was
tier and a B tier.
sitting at A currently.
Chris, thoughts, opinions,
I agree with Shanine.
chaos.
It, don't get me wrong. Yeah, exactly. It is just that first portion,
5
that
minutes.
first
Yeah.
5-10 minutes or whatever it is, that just the old man story nails it. And then throughout I don't remember a ton. Like the rest is just kind of like, would I recommend the rest? No. Like all you need is that first 5-10 minutes. That's all you need of that movie. Like that should have just been a short. Like that's my take. I agree with Shanine on that. This might be kind of yeah, we'll say I almost can't even say B because I only care about the first 10 minutes. I'm going to say it's a C tier.
Is it a low B? High C? Your face tells me it's a C.
I'm going to say C because it has one major up. They get it. And everything else is just meh for me. Like I'm not even sure I really care about anyone else in that story, honestly. So, law of averages, I think, puts it at a B currently then.
I'm gonna just make
Cameron.
the math weird. This is an A for me.
Yeah.
This is the other one that I hadn't seen all the way through, and so I watched this on Friday. Yeah, again, to what you're saying, it's very fresh in my mind, and that's kind of why it's landing at A. Again, it's one that I feel like I'd seen most of, but I just hadn't actually like finished it, and so I really like it. I think it's a great film. This is probably a low A for me. Just in terms of it's very good, but I mean, as y'all said, it's very much carried by how amazing the start is.
Yeah,
like this is probably the best best intro of any movie.
Yeah, if I can rate
Pixar.
this completely just on that first 10 minutes, it is an S, but
yeah.
like I can't let that carry the entire movie for me. So how does that work? We have S, A, B, and a C.
Didn't actually think about this. We could put it between.
I am good with us rounding up.
Oops.
Yeah.
So this would be like a B plus, which
Yeah.
I think it makes more. I like
in between a B and an
It
A.
officially gets its own.
Yeah.
we're adding in.
Yep. Oh, come on.
Okay, Emma. While he's
Let
doing
this
that,
work.
While he's doing that,
Let's start our
we are
next.
going to jump on to the next one, which Cameron, you read my mind. The next one is Toy Story 3. Next, well, we have Toy Story 3 and Cars 2. So 2 sequels that we might as well just talk about together. Toy Story 3 in 2010 and Cars 2 in 2011. Toy Story 3, I honestly don't remember anything about. Cars 2, I don't think I saw because I didn't care about Cars 1.
Toy Story 3 for me is an A.
What
I think
happened
it's
in Toy Story
timeliness
3?
for me, but also like I think it has this, it's gonna get an A because of its timing. Because what year
Yeah,
did you say
okay.
Toy Story 3 came out?
It's 2010.
Toy Story
2010.
3 was 2010.
And it's
Now that I'm reading
Andy going off to college.
the-
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely
So
agree on that one
it
with an A.
it hit a certain spot for me, just It was
'Cause,
it was too timely. Like they knew what they
Yeah.
were doing with this
Mhm.
because the generation that grew up with Toy Story and all the way through this one,
Yep.
just they nailed that. So like I can't say it's a must watch because I can't say everyone could identify with that. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. It just has that sweet spot for me that
Mhm.
for a millennial, Toy Story
Mhm.
3 is an A.
I'd agree there. Same boat.
Yeah.
They
A as
continue
well.
to carry on strong with the Toy Story group.
Yeah, A as
Whereas
well.
Cars 2 for me was a bit of a didn't see it, so I don't know.
Yep. To the surprise of no one, I watched Cars today. I had not seen any of the Cars sequels, so this is in my unwatched as well.
So, Chris and Shanine, have you seen Cars 2?
I have seen Cars 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all get it.
So-
Y'all are in charge.
Y'all get it.
It's between us two, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not the most memorable. For me, it's I'm gonna rank this pretty low as because I'm gonna put it in that D tier. Like I don't care about this. But I also, I put Cars in C, so it didn't make sense to me that it would get a sequel to begin with. So D, why does this exist?
Yeah, my feelings about these two sequels could not be more different, probably. Toy Story 3 was incredible for all the reasons we've said. I can't put it in S because you really have to have seen the other Toy Stories for it to work. And yeah, having that like actual journey with it as a millennial was really something else. But it's still great. So definitely A. Cars 2, I feel like the only thing I remember from it is Mater eating wasabi. That I remember absolutely nothing else.
Right?
And yeah, probably a D.
Sounds like it's as bad as I would expect it to be.
I hope I'm dragging the right one here. I can't quite tell.
So
Okay.
I think Cars 2 is the one with all of the cars on it. Yes. That's based on me trying to Google, and I can't.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Cars 3 is the other cover.
Me squinting at the
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, like it's a small portion. We should have done better, but
Mhm.
but yeah, that's the right one. So yeah, D. Okay, two people that have seen it puts it in D.
sounds about right. Moving on to what I believe is their only actual princess movie, Brave, in 2012. Someone will probably correct me if I'm wrong there, but
Sounds about right.
sounds about right. With your Irish Scottish princess from the other studio. I personally think that this one's pretty strong and underrated, but also not S tier. So a strong B, low A for me. Chris, you get to go first.
I get to
Second,
go
'cause I just
first.
went.
Like I feel like the girls should talk about this movie first.
Okay, no, because I called you already. There's bears in this one.
Bears beats Besser.
In context of Pixar, I think they should do more Disney princess movies because of Brave. This is, I almost want to say S, but I don't know. We have so many S tier game movies right now. So part of me is just like, do I put too much of Pixar in S tier?
You just hold Pixar in that high esteem, or are they really that good?
I feel they do really good stuff
They will.
with initial
Looking
IPs
at this
at
list.
times. I'm gonna say A. Um, I think they should do more Disney princess movies because of Brave. This is, I almost want to say S, but I don't know. We have so many S tier game movies right now. So part of me is just like, do I put too much of Pixar in S tier? I like how they wove traditional stories. I feel like this is a much closer adaptation than Disney usually would do for a princess movie in general, to the original source material. And I think that lends a lot to why I think this. I think this is great for most people. Maybe, but yeah, and also just main character. Like very rarely do I like end up care. Well, it's not rarely, but like where I end up appreciating the main character more than the side characters, and I think Brave does that for me. So we'll say a solid A.
Me.
Yeah, I think I'd give it an A. It's been a while since I've seen this one, but like, I love having a princess saving herself and other people and just being a strong person instead of a damsel in distress. That was something exciting for Disney. Good job, Pixar.
And it took Pixar doing it. That's like that's all.
Yeah.
Like it's like such. It's
Took the
important.
other studio doing it to put Disney in there.
It's like we own that, right? Yeah. Okay. It's just-
And
now.
yeah, I don't know. Having it be Scottish is something different and fun, and yeah, it was good.
We're getting some hot takes in chat.
We are getting some hot takes in chat.
Yes.
Unfortunately, yeah. King Amos, is that Amos? Amos, is just as upset with our tier list as he is with IGN's. We will say there are 4 competing things, so a lot of these just end up where they are due to law of averages.
Yeah.
And sometimes one of us has a very hot take, and it just brings it down or up where we don't think it should be. But none of us have exercised the veto yet.
Yep. There have been 0
Apparently.
vetoes,
0 vetoes.
and we're like halfway through.
Cameron, have you voiced your opinion on Brave? I don't think so. I
I
would
have
like
not.
to hear it.
I think it's fine. I say that it's a high B for me. It's one that I saw and I enjoyed, and I kind of had no sense or no really desire to go back, but I enjoyed it. And so this is probably an upper B for me. So
Yeah. Sounds about like my judgment.
So we got
A high B,
2
low
A's
A.
and 2 B's. Where are
put
we
it in that
rated?
B
Because
plus with up.
B plus
it
with
in a
up.
B plus.
We've
No,
made the
they
B
were-
plus.
We
Did
made
you
the B
both say
plus.
high B's though?
They did say
Because
high
I feel like a
B's.
high B plus an A averages to
Averages
an
out
A.
to an A.
Yeah.
I'm one of the ones that
It's a
voted
B
for A
plus
though. So
plus.
B plus plus.
Yeah.
It's like we're gonna say it's an A minus, but we're not gonna create a category for that. A minus is an A.
We already have the B plus.
Yeah.
We had to
One
create the
note's
B
sharp
plus
as
because it
another
was a
note's
very
flat, you
weird,
know?
like there was no way to truly weight that. Whereas
Yeah.
this is like right on the line of B and A, so we're gonna.
Next
You
one.
guys said strong, so
Next one. Monsters University 2013. A kind of sequel, but I wouldn't.
prequel.
It's a prequel. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Chris. A prequel to Monsters Inc. College buddies. Monsters in college.
Yeah, I'll say for me, this is low B.
Yeah.
I'll just get that out. I don't have a ton to say. I enjoyed it more than I expected, but
Hard to agree.
I don't have anything crazy. I don't have any strong feelings on it.
Yeah, I think it's a C for
Seems
me.
fun.
I enjoyed it. There was nothing like overly wrong with it, but it's not on my rewatch list.
yeah, I'd say C.
Yeah. Not fantastic.
They went the wrong direction. Okay, they were making sequels for like every good thing, and then Monsters, they're like, let's do this weird college one. Like almost feels like, why does this exist? But I did enjoy it more than I expected, so I'm gonna say C.
So B. I think Chris, you're the only one who's a C. I think the rest
I
of us are
said C.
B's
No,
or C. So
it's
two
split.
C's and two B's.
Question: how strong are you guys on those B's?
It's
I
low B
mean,
for me.
yeah,
I'm fine with this one rounding down, being our first
yeah,
C.
same
Our
here.
first C.
Yeah.
And we got some C votes in
Yeah.
chat, so we'll let them break the tie there.
Next one. Or two. We can do either the next one or the next two, which are both individual /
I'll
not
say
sequels.
the next one is probably the one I think we should talk about the most on that.
Okay.
Like, if we're gonna zoom through them, which I mean, again, we're like 10 away from
I'm
finishing.
trying to.
This is
yeah.
the one I would like us to stop on of the remainder.
Okay. I will stop on this one and have this one be itself, which is Inside Out in 2015.
So for me, this is S. I think this is one of the most important messages that Pixar has ever had. And again, kind of what I said with Wall-E, I think this is an amazing message told in an amazing way.
Yeah.
I don't think you can talk too highly of this. While it's not like my personal number one, I do think it is probably one of the most important Pixar movies they've released.
Hard agree. It's definitely not my like personal go-to favorite, but it's very well done, very strong. I do know that like elementary schools and even like psychologists have adapted some of the concepts from this for like explaining emotions to kids and working through things like that with kids because it's easier for them to grasp and understand. It's something that they see and can use to process. It's a great way to explain just your own inner workings for a kid without like alienating the older audiences. Janine, thoughts? Because Chris doesn't like going first.
I don't have much else to add. I think I agree with S. It's great. It's great having a way to talk about those things, emotions, as well as, I guess, specifically like grief and sadness, which I think can be one of the harder ones to talk about. So, yeah, it's great.
Chris?
For the most part, I agree. I'm just going to say A, not to be difficult, but because of, like, I don't necessarily have a, like, for me, the rewatchability factor. I don't have a necessary desire. Like, I would definitely watch it again, but it's not one, like, I definitely enjoyed, like, once or twice. Maybe that will change. Like maybe I'll have a hankering to watch it again down the road. But currently it sits an A. So law of averages brings it up to an S. But yeah, like the importance of it is like I definitely agree. Highly important movie.
Cool. Strong average of S on that one. For a very good reason. The next one, which I know I saw, hardly remember though, The Good Dinosaur. 2015. Rar. Janine. Go.
Okay. It's also haven't seen it since we saw it in the theater. I don't remember a lot about it. I do remember it being super emotional. I'm gonna put it at a B because I can't remember a lot of specifics, but I do remember feeling emotional about it. So it had to have been good.
B.
This is like, I'm going to put this as a D for me.
If this doesn't end up in S, all right. Oh my goodness, we're losing people. We're losing people.
This is D for me. I think it's fine.
Honestly, with you on that one, Cameron, I know I saw it. I maybe remember the first 5 minutes, but all I remember is just thinking it was not a good movie. Sorry, anyone who likes that movie.
I'm picky about my dinosaur movies. Okay. And I
Not
wanted
Land Before Time.
this to be amazing. I think they did a great story. But like it just doesn't get to the level of a must watch, need to watch. I will give it a solid B though. Like I'll agree with Janine there. I think if you are a Pixar fan, you should watch this. Like it has good ups, good downs. If you are just a dinosaur fan, this isn't necessary.
My general opinion of this movie is that it's just them showing off animation software, saying, look what we can do.
I feel like Pixar does that quite often.
But they, on average, do it with a good story to back it up. They do not have a good story to back up this movie.
I feel like they
just showed off software.
They did what they could. Like I don't know. It's fine. It's a B for me. Like it's just like they're gonna swing sometimes and they're gonna miss. It just happens. I don't expect every Pixar to be a banger, obviously. But like part of it is like I can't even point out like the specific themes of The Good Dinosaur either. Like I do remember emotions and like being like enjoying it, but yeah.
In chat, King Amos says in all caps, "Death is the theme." But let's get going on. We have quite a few more to get on, and we're already going.
So we are jumping into the next two, which are both sequels: Finding Dory and Cars 3.
Okay, wait. Where did we land on Good Dinosaur though?
Ends up at C.
I'm gonna bring out my veto for this one and bring it up to a B.
Okay.
Partly because I don't have distinct memories of it, but I feel like it's above a C. And also for King Amos, I feel so bad.
Here we go. We have
This
our
one's
first
for you.
veto. Strong B.
Okay.
Next, we have Finding Dory and Cars 3 in 2016 and 2017, respectively. Both sequels, obvi. And I will just go, I assume, first. Say Finding Dory is a strong A. Not a strong A. It's a strong B, low A, because it's a good follow-up, but could have been better.
Well, you said strong B?
Strong B, low A.
Pick one.
I love the octopus. Okay.
It's the B plus. There's literally a B plus.
A.
Okay. B plus is like where average is though. Like you can't pick B plus.
I'm saying A for Dory, and Cars 3 I don't think I saw.
I'll say for me, Dory's probably a low B for me, and I also have not seen Cars 3.
A low B, so A, B, okay. Right now it's saying a B plus.
Cars 3 is the one Pixar movie I have not seen.
We got our first unwatched.
Yeah.
Unwatched.
Oh, you three haven't?
I was meaning to watch it before we did this and I forgot.
Okay, just so we could talk about Cars 3, and because I have seen it. I would put this at a B or a C. Like it is way better than 2. Like it's memorable. It is a passing of a torch story, and I think it's great in terms of the Cars universe. Actually, I would probably put this above. Like, if I had to rank them, Cars 3 is better than. Like, I'd put it above Cars, almost. But we'll put it unwatched since only 3 out of. Okay. Sorry.
Then
All
Finding
right.
Dory is the
And
other one.
Finding
Yeah.
Dory it's a C for me. It was fine. It was real disappointing going in expecting Finding Nemo level movie and getting that. It was like I like the octopus, I guess. It was fine.
Finding Dory's a D for me.
There you go.
Yeah. So wait, we said so a B.
We have A, B, C, and D, which
C.
brings us to B minus coming in.
Or do we create a
Well,
C
Chris
plus?
makes that file.
I'm good with C plus if we want to just do
The
pluses
pluses.
instead of minuses.
It like it makes
Yeah.
it like a strong
Yeah.
version of its. Okay. Yeah. Like yeah. It's just I don't know why this exists. Like why pick this character to follow? She was endearing
It's
in the
short-term
first,
memory
but
loss.
just gets annoying when she's the main character.
There you go.
That's my take.
Next up, we have Coco from 2017. I think this is a strong A for representation and great storytelling in a different cultures, not mythos, cultures like celebrations. There you go.
Sorry, you said A?
For
Or
Coco,
S?
yes.
A. Okay.
This is a low S for me. I think this is probably the bottom of my S's. But I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's fantastic. I think it brings a lot in with the themes. I think it's another great way of telling the story. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic movie. Yeah, yes.
Chris.
Coco for me is a B. And that is because like yeah, representation is important. But I think they did a great job with the soundtrack. But sometimes representation maybe they tried too hard in my brain for it. Like yeah, it's a B for me.
Me?
I think I have to say B as well. It was good. I enjoyed it. I agree with King Amos in chat. Like Coco is not my favorite Dia de los Muertos movie out there. I know we're not comparing things to outside of
like,
Pixar,
right,
but
this
it's
is
still I was
Yeah.
expecting a lot more having seen Book of Life before this, and then I saw it and was like, oh, this was fine.
Yep.
I think that's a really great point too, is that part of it is like, yeah, you're not specifically comparing it to it, but with their attempt when there is a better version out there is something to keep in mind too. Just I don't know. What's the law of averages say then?
I think that puts it in the B plus.
B plus.
Just did Coco. So we're going to do the next two because they're both sequels. Incredibles 2 and Toy Story 4. Incredibles 2 I did not see. Toy Story 4 I felt was highly unnecessary and I just strongly dislike and feel like they did not need to make it. Was it well done? Yes, but I am strongly against it. Therefore, I personally put it in the C plus, or well, C, general C category.
So Toy Story 4 is going to C, sorry? Or
yes.
okay. And did you say about Incredibles 2? Sorry, I was trying to listen.
I've not seen it.
Okay. Oh.
No
So
opinion.
both of these are B's for me. I think Incredibles 2 suffers the most from not coming out quickly after The Incredibles. I've said that on the cast before, around when we watched it. I think that it would have been much better if it came out the next year or 2 years later or something, but I think it suffers from the time. Toy Story 4, I think, is a great movie that I didn't need. And so it kind of, to me, falls into the same thing as Toy Story 3, where because you really have to be invested in this franchise, it's hard for me to recommend. I do think it stands on its own a little bit better than 3, but I don't think it's as good of a movie. So
And you
both
said
B's.
both B's?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's going to sit at C plus now because, and Incredibles will sit at a B too.
For me, Incredibles 2 is a B. I quite enjoyed it. It was more Incredibles. It was entertaining. I liked it. More Elastigirl is great. Toy Story 4 is an easy D for me. It just, no, it was not good. I didn't. We had Toy Story 3 and it was the perfect ending. And then they're like, great, kids like Toy Story again. Let's make another one. But it was bad. It was just
Janine,
really
you're the
bad.
first person I've ever met who's had the exact same opinion as I.
yeah, no.
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 Just no. Just no. It diminishes the rest of the franchise, in my humble opinion. That's my hot take of the night, is that Toy Story 4 is, oh, why does this even exist?
Yeah.
So I'm changing mine from a C to a D, because it's like, why does this even exist? Why did you make it?
In my mind, there's only 3 Toy Story movies.
Yeah.
That's what is in my box set, shaped as Andy's toy box. That's all we have. That's all we need.
Yeah.
Okay. I will agree on Incredibles 2. My favorite thing about Incredibles 2 was definitely the animation. They did a great job with it. Again, with Cameron, that gap is huge. And they didn't set the story in a similar gap, which probably bothers me more than it should. But as a standalone film, amazing. But because it is a sequel, I have to consider it in context too. Toy Story 4, completely agree on the D. Should not exist. Get rid of it. Also, the concepts within the Toyverse introduced in Toy Story 4 bother me deeply. Like, any deformed thing I tried to make as a child can't, like, in that verse is alive. It's too problematic for me. No. It's kind of like that episode of SpongeBob where he gets a pencil and when he draws something it becomes real. Yeah, it too weird, and like I don't even think it brought kids back into the Toy Story verse, so pointless. Why does it exist?
Okay, so I think that puts Incredible in the B, and then Toy Story as a D with 3 Ds. So
yeah.
I do just have to say that clearly we, as a group, are strongly against the average in our opinions of Toy Story 4, and the fact that it has a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes and an 84 on Metacritic.
Are you serious?
So clearly the average person quite liked Toy Story 4.
I didn't think it was that hot of a take to think it was awful.
Yeah, I think Toy Story 4 is number 10 on
Maybe it's
Metacritic.
because we don't have kids. Is that like
Well,
there
we
is
grew up with
certain
Toy Story,
cultural
that's the thing.
biases too. Well, that's the thing. Like Toy Story 4 is made for the millennial that had kids that wants to continue that tradition. None of us have kids. So we grew up with it, so we're expecting them to want to cater it to us. Whereas like maybe Toy Story 4 is literally the passing of the torch Toy Story, and that's what its purpose was and why it was so well
If I had
received.
kids, I would have hated having to watch this 5 times a day, every day.
Amen.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
But I'm just saying, like maybe like our own current social standing is affecting our bias on that. But
I don't think that's
I'm trying to justify maybe critics' ratings. I don't know.
There's no
knows?
I still agree
justification.
on
They
the
are
D,
wrong.
Yeah. So,
Right.
post hot takes on Toy Story 4, we're going to jump on to the next two, both in 2020, released, I believe both released post start of pandemic, Onward and Soul.
Onward was one of the few movies that went to theaters.
Yeah, Onward was like the
Okay,
last
there we go.
movie of
Yep.
2020 to hit theaters,
To hit
or something
theaters.
or the last
That's
major
the
one.
essentially the modern fantasy.
And then
Mhm.
Soul
is
launched
essentially-
shortly after Disney Plus.
Yeah. Yeah. Soul was a Disney Plus release. So, Onward I enjoyed, but I felt like they could have done it better. It sits at a B for me personally. And then Soul is also a B. It's a nice discussion of faith, but it didn't stick out tremendously to me. Cameron.
To me, Onward is a low B. I do think the theme, definitely being geeky, a first Geek 411.
Hey.
I definitely think that theme carries it a little bit higher for me. And then Soul was a miss for me. I think it's a C. I think there's a lot of really cool stuff there. I enjoy the animation, and so it's definitely one that maybe Soul is lower for me because I expected it to hit harder, and it didn't.
Sorry, what was yours, Emma, on Soul?
A B for both.
B, and you got to be K. Sorry, just confirming. Okay. Sorry, go on, Cameron. I apologize.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
might not be
man.
friends with me after this.
Wait, who? Me?
No,
No.
King Amos and I might not be
King,
friends
yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Shocker.
think I got some brownie points for Good Dinosaur, but I'm about to have some hot takes here now as well. So, okay. Onward, I think, is a B for me as well. I loved the concept. I was so pumped seeing the trailers, and then it was like pretty good. So, yeah, it's a B for me. Soul, on the other hand, is a D for me. I only watched it like very recently, and like I could have not, I would have been fine with that. I don't think it was a good discussion of anything. I don't know.
He's completely taken off now. He's good night all.
He's just pieced out.
Sorry.
Oh my.
I feel like it wanted to say a lot of things and it didn't really say much of anything. And
That's kind of how I felt with it too.
I wanted it to be good, but it was not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Chris.
I'm gonna agree with Onward. It's just a very niche film.
Yeah.
So it just, it's not something I would completely recommend, but you need something, you are a nerd, you need something put on the background. It's a great movie to just throw on, or you need something to go to bed to or something that's still enjoyable. I like Onward. Soul, I want to give an A. Just because I think it handled multiple ideas well, in my opinion, without being, because it does deal with questions of faith, but it's never specific. And I think that's what I enjoy about it. Because and I'm also trying to loop King M's back. But no, like it, I guess I don't completely, it's hard to explain, but I think for me it challenged its ideas well, and like I did, I don't want it to go into a ton of detail, or whatever. And I think that's was why, like Cameron said, I enjoyed the animation, and I think it brought a certain visual uh, representation to concepts, to very abstract concepts, and I think that's what it did well. I didn't want it to explain anymore. I didn't want it to do more. I just wanted to enjoy it, and I did. So, for me, it's an A. I think you can watch that with friends and have really good conversation afterwards, in my opinion. But
Yeah, I just think the conversations are better than the movie. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of where I land on it. But yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying there. Like, I think it's the type of movie that, as like the inverse of Inside Out, where like I think Inside Out is an amazing film that leads to amazing conversations. I think Soul is in mediocre film that leads to great conversations.
okay.
Um,
But yeah, I think I just enjoyed the abstractness of it a little more. But I like abstract things usually. Let
Some
me do
people
the deep
and
dive.
That's okay.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
I think that drops Soul into the C plus.
Yeah. Pretty much.
okay.
C, C plus.
I'm gonna use my veto on Soul and bring it into a strong B.
All right.
I am so mad I used my veto.
It's okay, Shanine. I got you, because I'm gonna veto
Okay.
and bring it back down.
Wait, didn't
There
you
we
say
go.
it was a B?
No, Soul's a C for me.
Yeah.
Onward was a B for me.
Who said? Oh, okay. So Emma said they were both B's.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Oh,
said
okay.
they were both B's.
Okay. Sorry, I was trying to.
Okay, which I think leaves just Emma with a veto going into the
Yeah.
final two.
It's true. It's true. I've been keeping track. Because I honestly thought there was going to be stronger opinions for Toy Story 4. But, you know.
No, it ended with 3 for me.
Yeah. Last two of the evening, Luca 2021 and Turning Red, which just came out. And I have not seen Turning Red, but I have seen Luca. It was fine. It didn't really impress me too much. It kind of sits at a C. It was a movie. It exists. That's a thing. And Turning Red, I have no opinion because I haven't seen it. So, let's do Shanine.
Yeah, Luca's a C for me. It was fine. Yeah, I no real strong feelings about it. It exists. I saw it. That's all. Turning Red, I have seen. I'm gonna put it at a B. I think it's a B. It wasn't super incredible, but I liked. It takes place in Canada.
Represent.
It's based in my
we've
general
got-
geographic area. Automatic A. No, I'm just kidding.
I feel like it gets some points for that. Yeah, some more representation. Adorable red pandas. And I was a preteen girl once, and it felt accurate. So
There you go. Chris. Thoughts,
Okay.
opinions.
Luca is, these are both C's for me. They're fine. Like, I'm not left with the question, why does this exist? I get it. Luca, they just, I feel like they struggled to weave any true, like, strong themes into it. Like, and that's something that Pixar is known to do well. Like
Known for.
in terms of like, look at our S tier list. Like that's what they do. And Luca was just I don't think friendship is ever a primary theme. It's always a very strong undertone. Like
Yeah.
it is important. Friendship is important, but
Literally Toy Story's theme song.
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, like that's not the only theme in Toy Story though. Like whereas like Luca, maybe they tried too hard for that to be the main theme. Um,
In Toy Story, they didn't set out to be like, oh, like friendship. We're gonna make a story where the entire theme is friendship, and we're going to scold people for not taking care of their friends. Whereas Luca, it felt kind of like that, basically.
yeah, I think the theme contrasts too much with their setting. Maybe that's my problem with Luca. So see, it's fine. It's good. Um, Turning Red ends up a C as much as I love red pandas. Um, and again, points for representation. Um, it just the family dynamics are never like there's things don't get resolved enough for me in the movie in the overall story. And there where there needs to be big conversations, there's not. I guess is my thing, and it lacks communication. It's like one moment they're arguing, next things just have to be resolved, and they just go straight to the resolution. Things are done. We're moving on, and I have serious problems with that.
For me, Luca's a D. Um, just yeah, did not connect with it. It's probably my second lowest of the ones that I've seen. Um, and I don't have a lot to add. I feel like y'all said it very well, talking about that. And then Onward is another low B for me, or not Onward. It's next to Onward
Turning Red.
on my tier list. Turning Red is also a low B, just like Onward. Um, and to basically, especially with that point that Chris brought up at the end, I think that the last third of this movie is way too fast. There's not enough resolution. I feel like if it had a better final third, this would probably be an A for me. But alas,
It had a lot of potential, but just missed a few keynotes.
That's what I've heard about it, but haven't seen it, so no opinions. Um, so not as many controversial opinions, but definitely some agreements and disagreements. Here's our wonderful, I don't remember where I'm located, our wonderful tier list
Other
of
way.
Pixar movies.
got there.
I'm just gonna wiggle all my fingers for no apparent reason. And we're still working out kinks, so obviously we went a little long here. Apologies. But this week, any streams happening? Janine.
Yes. I'll
Yes.
be streaming Spiritfarer tomorrow night.
Woo. Chris?
I will not be streaming this week. I have family visiting starting tomorrow, and I'm house sitting at the same time. So I will not even be home.
There you go. I may or may not be on Thursday. It's a little up in the air because we're getting turnover for this project, and I may be in the basement working on sound stuff the entire day. Cameron?
I will hopefully be on Sunday. Not sure if I'll be here on Cameron plus Diana, but we'll see.
Cool. And we have our next book club coming up in a few weeks. We are reading The Robe by Lloyd C. Douglas. Super good so far from all of our peoples who have been reading it and from myself. We are not doing top 3 this week because we just did tier list, which is basically top 3 in a more expanded route. Obviously. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and at our website, I believe, First Geek 411. Still figuring this out. You can also hop on our Discord server. Same thing, 1geek411, or email us at 1stgeek411 at I forgot how to read that.
Gmail.com.
At gmail.com. There we go. Thank you, Cameron. You can hop onto our Redbubble store. We've got some fun stuff there. Watch us live here on Twitch Monday nights. And our YouTube videos usually go up on Thursdays, Wednesdays. That's what I thought. Please rate and subscribe wherever you listen to our podcast. We would greatly appreciate it. Check out our show notes at onegeek411 at .com. Again, just mixing up all my words here. And our personal social media websites, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I am not prepared with an I.
I'm Humar Whittle.
I'm the Hoot and Howl on Twitter and Hoot and Howl Tales, TALES on Instagram.
And I'm not so foreign.
Thanks for joining us in this new adventure into the chaoticness. Go watch a movie.
Wash them hands. Or catch these hands.
Oh. Read a book.